everybody, welcome to some hobby tips. I haven't done this in forever, but today we're going to actually take a look at how to build a warp missile support rack. Yes, for Adeptus TItanicus. I was standing in the studio kit bashing something for a game of Titanicus, and I realized I have a camera here. I'm literally just converting up something for my bits box. Maybe people would be interested in that. So let's take a look at how to convert up this cool little extra piece that currently there isn't a model for your Reaver Titans for Titanicus. All right, so here's what you need to build your own support missile for a warp support missile for Titanicus. I've got the finished one right here, you can see, along with a 1.5mm magnet put on it. And I've already test fit it onto this guy. This is Kingsguard, one of my Titans. So you can see it fits perfectly in the mount there to be ready to shoot and avoid some shields. It looks really old school, which I actually really like. It kind of has a AT-88, I guess is what they're calling it now. The 1988 version of Titanicus look to it. And it's low enough profile. I think it's going to look cool when it's all painted up and on the table. But I wanted to make a second one because I have 3 Reaver Titans, and I figured that, you know, I said this earlier, I'm standing in the studio, I've got a camera set up, I'm getting ready for a game, I might as well just film this part too, because this was super quick. It's going to paint up super easy, and it's going to let me try out support missiles, the warp missiles, in my game. So, like the current contemporary bits, from any of the guard vehicle kits, you've got a 100 killer missile, the rail that it fires on, and the front of a searchlight, you know, 1.5mm, rare earth magnet to attach it when you're all said and done. And then these bits I think are older. Oh, that actually might be a current one. I think that's the current Searchlight Mount for mounting the searchlight in. And then, no, it's not actually. That's an older mount for something. Older guard bits, basically. This is for sure the old 100 killer missile that you're going to be using. I'm using this for the sides. Pretty much everything else here is getting chopped up. So first things first, to make the bigger support missile, what you want to do is you want to cut the ends off of this older one. So I'm just going to clip the actual like warhead off. Right, the line was perfect, and then same with the back here, the actual like jet. And those just get discarded. You don't need those when you're all done, and you just want to clean and flatten. And it's funny, I was thinking about this a minute ago, how old all my hobby tools are. I'm pretty sure this GW knife, because this is actually a GW, a Games Workshop hobby knife, back when they were just like vending third-party stuff that they would buy, is probably older than some of you people watching this. I think I got this hobby knife in, probably like 91. No. 95 maybe. It's old. It's crazy old. And these were the ones sold in Canada, which could very well have been different from the ones being sold in the UK at the time, or sold in the US, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff being purchased for the different areas was different. These were probably maybe sold in the US and Canada. I don't know if these were sold in the UK. Anyway, once this is all flattened off, you can chop off the warhead and fairing, because what I want to do is just kind of beef it up and make it a bit longer. There you go. So it's nice and evened off. And those are just going to go away. It's garbage from this, because this was a chunkier missile, but I didn't like how stubby it was when you put it on the rack. It didn't look quite big enough to be sitting on a Titan. And I just chopped it off like all the way at the end, just again following the lines and stuff, so that I had new ends for this. So you can see here it's got like a fatter warhead and the fatter tail fins and stuff too. And then what I did was when I mounted it kind of off center. So once again, you want to flatten this off and get it as flat as possible, because then when you glue these together, you've got a nice line. And you could pin these, but I'm going to use Tamiya Model Masters plastic cement, and the weld on that's pretty rock steady. You're not really going to have to worry about it, I don't think. But you could just run a pin in here too if you wanted to make this super durable. I know my buddy Christian would definitely have pinned everything if he's watching this. He was the pin everything dude that I grew up with, that would have definitely yelled at me for not running a paper clip through this, just to be sure, just in case his metal Space Marines that every single joint was pinned. And then we're just going to clean the mold lines, just scrape the mold lines a little bit. They're not too bad, but then they're gone. And I may clean it again after. I'm not going to make you guys watch me clean mold lines. I may clean it up a little bit after it's glued together. And once again, yeah, just flattening off the end here. Probably freaking people out cutting doors myself, but if you don't have a Band-Aid at the ready, There you go. I actually have that sitting next to me. Just in case. Let's pimp some Band-Aids. Just in case it all goes horribly wrong. Because actually the blades for these, which I still have a whole bunch of replacements for, they were surgical blades and they're crazy sharp. Which is why I still like this hobby knife the best, because the blades were like super crazy sharp. And then while you're cleaning and clipping everything else, I recommend actually gluing the warhead on if you're gonna wait for it to dry, because it'll just save you some time. And if you don't use Tamiya model cement, just get on the train. You need to be ready to rock and roll. And this is the train to the best possible plastic cement. And there you go. That weld should be nice and strong. And then this one's gonna be put at the back, and we'll put the little rockets up here. And you can see I'm just kind of off centering. Oh, you're not very flat. You need a little bit more off that side right there. Let's look at the profile. There we go. You can see I'm just doing it like back and forth. So the fins, you can see the stabilizers that are on the body of the rocket, I'm doing in between so that they're off. They're basically off from the ones that are the big, large ones. There we go. And again, I'll probably clean this a little bit when I'm done. Now there is a section on this rocket with some mounting holes for putting it on the rail right here. And you want those to be fairly exposed because you are gonna have to chop down the rail. The rail's gonna be a little bit too long. So when I took the rail off mine, I took it back to 2 of the little dots and chopped it back and then started cleaning it. And I had to actually, because this is meant for the larger missile, the stubby missile, I guess, I had to actually just take the mounting posts off. So you can see there's little nubs here. I'm just cleaning them right off because then the rail can just go straight onto the rocket and I'm not missing them because they're not quite in alignment for this rocket. And then just cleaning my mold lines off quickly. Again, I'll probably come back to this later just to be safe. I'm going to clean the mold lines off this is going to be the mount for the bottom, you can see. So I'm just going to start cleaning it as well. And you want to scrape this fairly flat because the rocket mount is going to actually sit on there. So just, you don't have to take all the detail and stuff off, but just give it a nice flat contact point so it's not too rounded. There we go. So that when you mount in this little bracket, it has something to attach to. It's nice and flat. I'm going to get you out of the way. You're going to go up here. Be out of the way. So then, whoa, geez, come back. The last piece we have left are this frame and then the magnet. If you want to save yourself some time, again, while you're cleaning everything, just super glue the magnet down. I didn't do anything extra to attach my magnets. Super glue could fail eventually. The magnets aren't that strong though. And again, if you're using glue in North America, I recommend Guerrilla glue because it's cheap, it's readily available. And I'm pretty sure it's the GW super glue from the 90s. Because the packaging is identical. It's at least using the same packaging, but I've never had a problem with it. I should have just gotten new glue for this, but no, I didn't apparently do that, and this glue is just about done. You can see because of the fact that it's got some plier marks on it to get the lid off, because it's starting to get old. And just give this a little move around, because what that'll do is it'll kind of get the super glue all the way around the edges and then center it. I left this tab on because there's actually a little divot in the back of where this thing goes, which lets it have something to snug up against, which I kind of liked. So I didn't clean this off on mine, and it's perfect for the Reaver Titans because there's a little divot in the back where all the rockets go, and it just gives it something to kind of touch against to keep it straight and from spinning around. And that should be good. Let that dry. And last, there's this thing. So to get this to fit, it was kind of a lucky accident. Like I just eyeballed it and it happened to work. If you cut it off flush with the peg, so flush right here, and then just sticking out on the other side, so like just maybe like a millimeter out. So you see, so there's a bit of this fairing still, or that bottom plate kind of like exposed. And then don't clean it all the way back, just kind of scrape it flat. There we go, scrape that flat. Clean your mold lines, if there are any. I don't think there's really that many on here. There's like kind of one around the rivet there. With the interior ones, I wouldn't even worry about because they're not going to be seen. And then the same with this, don't take it back too far, just clean it flat so it's flush. And then same with this. Clean it back, get your mold lines. This bracket should fit perfectly, over top of here, which I thought was really funny. And then the easiest way to do this is when it's not on the missile. So a little bit of glue on there, a little bit of glue down here where it's going to actually go on. And then there's a middle dot right there on the bottom of that launch rail that fits perfectly into this. There you go. And then you're literally just going to close it on the other side. And whoops, get in there. Other side, I'm just going to put you flat. A little bit in there, a little bit back on there because I think I wiped it off my hands. And then same thing. Whoa, geez, come back. And if it is a bit too long, I'll just trim it. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be exactly what I want. Yep, there we go. Nailed it. Actually, it's a little bit too wide. See, it's beveled there. So I'd rather leave too much on and have to trim it afterwards than cut it back too short and it's like pinched. So I'm just going to take just like one layer off there basically. And that should be perfect. Yeah, pretty happy with that. And there you go, you got your launcher rail system right there. Just make that flush. Ooh. Put those two together. And it's ready for the rocket. It's actually still a little bit too big, but I'm not going to worry about it. You're not really going to see that. It just looks like it's on an angle. And because it's plastic glue, it's going to weld really tight when it's done. And then some glue on the rail. And some glue on the bottom. I think I'll do the bottom first, actually. Make sure you guys are straight. Get a little bit of glue on there because that's going to help everything to hold together when this is done. Mount it onto the light. Give that a second to just get tacky. And then my missile can drop on and we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to put the side down with the divots in it anyway, and that should fit just perfectly like that. And we got a warp missile. Pull that off. And this should be pretty dry, so I'm just going to put you up here to dry where nothing can touch you. Whoa, geez, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I went upside down. I knew that was going to happen. I didn't test fit it. I literally left this off. Nice thing is just get some clippers behind it, and it'll pop right off. I did a good job gluing it too. I literally left this here so that I could test which side was which. And like an idiot, I didn't do it, was actually gluing it on. And so that needs to go back on the other side, which is no big deal. You're going to go on here, back like that. It was why I left the missile launcher there. I was like, I'll check my magnets before I glue them on. And no, I just eyeballed it. I mean, I had a 50% chance of being right. That's the nice thing. But there it is. That's the side that should actually be up, which is good. And I'll remember that with my clippers. And we'll get some more super glue on here. And throw it on. Come on, you. You can see how fast that Tamiya model cement creates a bond too. Like this is pretty solid already. And I literally just put it together. So I know this is the right side because I kept it on there. And I'll put this back on. Give that Gorilla Glue a minute to dry. Have it not stick to my fingers because obviously I just glued that side down I'm touching. And there we go, there's a warp missile. Number 2. So I got 2 of these made now, ready to rock and roll for 2 of my Reaver Titans. And it's a pretty quick and painless conversion. And I like how big they are compared to just using like a straight up hunter killer missile off the frame. So there's everything you'd need. Yeah, just some super glue, some plastic glue, that parts list I showed you, hobby knife, and some clippers. I don't know if I'm gonna do more hobby tips like this. I used to do them ages ago when I first started the channel. People like that kind of stuff. I think I'm just gonna do them as they come to me. Like if something else like this happens and you wanna see there's like a quick little like handy thing, I'll probably put them up some more. But I'm gonna link this to the AT18 Facebook group. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this. How to make a warp missile for your Reaver Titans for Titanicus. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.